Hey guys, welcome to Treadmill Review Guru. Today we are going to review the Ergatta water rower. I'm really impressed with this rower. I love the nice sleek wood frame. It looks like a piece of furniture in your room and includes that very subtle water tank. It's comfortable to use and has some engaging content with the touchscreen. So let's dive in and take a closer look at some of the features and specs and who we recommend the Ergatta for. All right, first let's do a quick overview of who we recommend the rower for. So as you can see, the Ergatta has a nice wood frame and it's very sleek and I love the color, but it doesn't fold up. So you do have to be aware that you're gonna need the full footprint when it's open. You can store it vertically. You have to lift it up to store it vertically and that will clear floor space, but we just want you to be aware of the footprint. So make sure that you've got enough room for that rower. We also recommend it for people who are looking for engaging games and content. Now, as you can see, it includes that nice 17-inch touchscreen, and the app on this one is a little different. I actually really like it. Instead of instructor-led classes, you have games and challenges. So this is well suited for people who are competitive, who want to jump in, compete, and play a quick game. So if you're into that sort of thing, this is a great option. Also, if you are looking for something that kind of has a classic design, it's very elegant, it looks like a piece of furniture in your home, this is a great option. We don't necessarily recommend it for people who are not looking for a subscription. So I get asked all the time, can I watch TV on the screen? Can I watch Netflix? Can I surf the web? No, you cannot. This is designed just to showcase the app content. So if you're looking for something else, maybe get a rower that doesn't have an attached screen or something like that. Also, if you are looking for instructor-led classes, if you want classes that take you out on the water and really give you that feel of professional rowing experience, this doesn't have that. This is all games. So just be aware that this is a little bit of a different app than other ones that you might find on, let's say, the Hydro or something else. A few things to be aware of. As you can see, it sits low to the ground. So there's some benefits to that. One, it can support up to 500 pounds, which is really nice. So it should work well for most size users, but you do have to be able to sit down low and then stand up again. So just kind of be aware that you do have to have pretty good mobility in order to be able to get on and off the machine safely. Also, your rails are a little lower than you might find on another rower, and you've got a dual rail system as opposed to a single monorail. So you've got both rails on either side. They do support that seat. The rails are about 6 inches high, and the top of the seat right here is about 12 inches high. So that's kind of your dimensions as you sit down on it. One thing I really like about that Ergatta is it kind of feels like you're in a rowing shell. I love the overall feel. And this wood is very nice. When I put my feet against the wood boards, it really feels like I'm rowing against a boat. And if you've ever been in a rowing shell, the seat moves like the seats in a shell. So that's something I like as well. One thing that I found to be a little constricting is these footboards are slightly closer together than you would find on like a Concept 2 or on the Hydro, where you have a little more leg span side to side. So some of our larger users, like Matthew, for example, he found his feet were kind of close together and it made it hard to get all the way down to the catch when you complete that drive. I don't find the same problem because I'm just a little bit smaller, but that is something that you might want to be aware of, is those footboards are a little closer together than on other rowers. You do have an ergonomic handle, so you can see it's got a little bit of molding there, and it makes it really comfortable to hold. The strap I like because it's quiet, but it is slightly thinner and narrower than I've seen on other rowers. And as you can see, we've used it quite a bit for testing, but it's already starting to fray just a little bit. And that has to do with the roller system where the belt feeds down into the body of the rower. It can hit the edges just a touch. So this isn't the kind of rower where you're gonna be able to do single arm work. I've done that on a Concept 2 where you'll do a single arm. You can't really do it, it's gonna fray your belt. So that's just something to be aware of. I find the catch to be well positioned for me. Once again, Matthew found his feet a little close together and it was just a little low for him. But the footboards are 12 inches high and about 4 inches wide. So they should support pretty much any size user, and you can adjust them as needed. So if you need more or less foot span, you have that option. The water tank is one of the nicer features on a water rower because it creates a very soothing sound. You actually have paddles in there that move the water. And so as you're rowing, it really kind of gives you the feel that you're out on the lake. You know, you got a cool breeze, it's a nice morning, but you can't adjust the resistance. So the only way to control how much resistance is to add or remove water, which is kind of challenging. So unlike a magnetic rower where you would have preset resistance levels, this doesn't have a damper and it doesn't have any way to control the resistance. So just, you know, one of the caveats to be aware of when you're purchasing a water rower. The sound is very soothing, but you are limited on your resistance. So that's kind of an overview of the construction. Let's take a closer look at some of the features and some of the content on the touchscreen. So here you can see the app interface on that Ergatta program. So clearly there's no videos. These are all just games and different challenges that you can use. And really, I'm quite impressed with both the app interface. I find it's very easy to navigate, and also the programming itself. So first of all, let's jump into the push programs right here. And these are basically different programs that are predicated on the concept of progressive overload. So they get consistently harder as you get stronger. When you first sit down and set up your Ergatta, you are supposed to do like a 2K row. And that basically establishes your baseline so that all other programming can kind of be calibrated based on your initial assessment, how well you do. So before I can progress and unlock any of these other levels, I have to complete this level 1 step series. And you can see there's 8 different rowing sessions in there. And they're a mixture of compact hit rows and longer cadence leg press, things like that, to kind of build up that strength in your muscular system and also build up your anaerobic conditioning. And then once you do, you can unlock those other levels. So that is a feature that I find to be relatively unique on this particular program and impressive as well. Here you've got interval training and there's different games. I'm gonna jump in just a second and show you how to play those because they're really quite fun. You also have races. So you can adjust how long you wanna race, what your estimated distance is, and then you can choose different races. You have the option of competing against yourself. If you've already completed a race and you wanna go back and beat your time, you can do that. Or you can compete against rivals if you have friends that you want to do, maybe favorites that you've done before. So you can go in and race yourself or others who have a similar baseline as you. So that's fun as well. Your open row is basically your manual row. So you can set a length if you want to work towards rowing. Okay, today I'm going to row 1K. So you can set that in there. Intervals, you can create your own intervals. And of course, you can also just do a free row if you would like. So let's go back right here to these interval programs, and I'm just going to show you this Meteor one because I think it's really kind of fun. So we're going to dive in and do this quick up-down interval program. So you always have to make sure you're strapped in first and you're ready to go. And then I'm going to start this workout. Now the goal here is to hit all the meteors as you move through the game. So you can see right here, this is where they want me to be. This is my target zone. And because the way I am, I have a harder time maintaining a low target zone than hitting a high one. So I'm gonna have to really try to stay on target here where I'm supposed to be. So I wanna keep a nice steady pace so that I can hit these asteroids and get the points as I move along. So right there, my goal is just to stay in that very low, easy zone. I'm working comfortably. And I'm going to hold it here for a second, and then it's going to kick it back up in about 7 seconds. So I got 6 out of 7. I did all right. Now you can see that zone has moved up. So I'm going to have to work a lot harder to get up there. I got about 10 seconds left. And it's going to drop me back down. So that time I did better, 17 out of 18. So this just kind of gives you an overview of how the games work. I'm going to hit pause and back. It'll tell you your stats and your rankings and all that stuff. So So Ergatta covers the rower with a pretty good warranty. You've got a 5-year warranty on the frame, 3 years for parts, and 1 year for labor. Also, as far as assembly goes, this was one of the smoothest assembly processes we've had with all the machines we've tested. Ergatta is contracted with a local company that contacted us the night before, gave us the hours when he was planning to come, came, set up the rower, verified everything was correct, and then left. So the setup was very smooth and we were really impressed. So I wanted to dive in and kind of give you an overview of the functionality of the Ergatta rower, how it feels and sounds when you're on it. So I'm all strapped in. You can see I've got my feet on the foot pedals. You can move those up or down depending on where you like the straps to be. They are adjustable, which is nice. And the handle, I feel like the catch is well positioned. It's not too low. Sometimes I'll find they're all the way down here. Sometimes they're a little high. I think this is really well positioned, and the screen, I feel, is the right distance from you, both when you're all the way back and when you move forward into that catch. So when we had our technician come set up our Ergatta, he filled the tank with a standard amount of water. And as you can see, you've got this nice wide paddle in there that just kind of moves that water around as you row. And it really doesn't create much noise, which is nice because sometimes rowers can be loud. I have a decibel meter here on my phone, and right now the ambient volume in the room is about 72, and that's with me talking. So I'm going to row for just a second. We'll see what that decibel meter reads, and then we can kind of get an idea of how loud it actually is. So it has a very smooth action. I've got just enough ankle flexion that my feet can move forward and back a touch as I press against that footboard. So that decibel meter only jumped up to 78. So it really isn't very loud. You could easily use this in a shared space. It would be great in an apartment or something like that. And it's really kind of a subtle sound too, which is nice. So in conclusion, there's a lot that I really, really like about this Ergatta rower. The gaming content is probably my favorite app interface that I have used on a rower. Admittedly, I have a somewhat short attention span, especially when I'm on a rower, and the games kept me engaged. So I loved that about it. I also really like the wood frame. I find the stain on it to be very elegant. We have a lot of equipment that we have in the studio, and we have people come through and test things, and this one stands out. It looks different. It looks like some furniture. You could definitely keep it in an apartment, set up against a wall. You don't have to hide it out of the way. So I really like the frame. The seat has a really smooth drive. As you slide back and forth along that dual rail, and maybe it's the dual rail system, but I really felt the action to be very smooth as I was rowing. There weren't any hiccups. I didn't slide too fast. I didn't lose myself in the recovery, so I liked that aspect of it. It is well priced, but you know, like with a lot of your subscription content, you do have to factor in the fact that there is an ongoing subscription, you know, monthly, and then the rower itself is priced right around $2,000. So it is a pricey piece of equipment. I feel like it's worth it, but it is something that you're going to have to budget in. Make sure that you are able to get all the way down on the seat and then all the way back up when considering the Ergatta. But in general, we've been really impressed, and I particularly love the gaming content. So if you would like a more detailed written review with in-depth pictures and dimensions and things like that, check out our written review at treadmillreviewguru.com. Also, if you are interested in current pricing, click the link below, and we would love to know what you think. If you have questions or comments, maybe you're interested in the Ergatta or you already own one, drop a comment down below and let us know. As always, we love having you here at Guru, and we would love to have you stick around. So if you liked our video, make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. My name's Kristen with Treadmill Review Guru, and we'll see you again soon.